No, I just...
Good evening, everyone. The clock says it's time to begin the Liquor Control Commission hearing for Monday, October 3rd, 2022. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Commissioner Papantos?
Present.
Commissioner Vito?
Here.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner Kruger is absent with prior notice. Commissioner Rafato?
Here.
And Chairperson Horker.
Here. You have before you the minutes of the meeting of August 15th, 2022. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Commissioner Papantos, second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Lang, roll call, please.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Rafato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes, you also have the minutes for the special meeting from September 14th. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Motion, Commissioner Rafato, second Commissioner Vogel.
Okay. Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Rafato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes. Clerk Brady, any citizen concerns or comments?
None today.
Moves us on to the meat of the meeting.
6A,
I'm sorry.
right? New business?
That's right. You're right.
Okay.
Yep.
6A, consideration of request for a Class L liquor license for Signature Flight Support for an event to be held at 385 Sumac Road on October 11th, 2022, and for events on 2 unspecified later dates.
Mr. Spondelis.
Thank you. As the title indicates, this is a request for a Class L corporate special event liquor license from Signature Flight Support. You may recall that Signature has been before us previously in this calendar year. That is not because they have exceeded their 3 allowable events under a single license. It's because this event is being held at a separate address, and that's why they had to come back for this event. The petitioner, I believe, is here this evening, can answer any questions. Should the commission wish to move forward with this, I would ask that any motion be made condition upon 2 conditions. First, the submittal of a certificate of insurance, and second, the submittal of proof of Bassett certification.
Questions or comments from the commission?
Make a motion we approve.
Motion, Commissioner Vogel.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Rafato. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Rafato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes.
6B, consideration of a request for a Class N liquor license for Varenyam LLC doing business as Fire Crust Pizza, proposed restaurant at 1083 East Lake Cook Road.
Mr. Spondelis.
Thank you. This is the first of 2 new restaurants we are welcoming into the village this evening. As the title indicates, this one is at 1083 East Lake Cook Road in Lexington Commons Shopping Center in a storefront previously occupied by Salata. This restaurant has only 28 seats, which is fewer than the 30 that are required for a typical restaurant license. Therefore, we are presenting it as a Class N cafe license. The petitioner should be here this evening and able to answer any specific questions about the business. And I would ask that any motion for consideration be made with the following 3 conditions. First, the passage of an ordinance by the Board of Trustees authorizing the creation of a new Class N liquor license. Second, the submittal of Bassett certificates for all applicable individuals. And finally, a satisfactory background check result for all applicable individuals. I can answer any questions, or the petitioner is here.
Commissioner Papantos.
Thank you. Welcome to Wheeling. When do you plan on opening?
We are waiting for a final inspection this Thursday for health, building, electric, to open by end of the second 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, max, end of the month, basically.
Great. And what will your hours be?
Business hours will be 11:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.,
So lunch and dinner?
lunch and dinner, yeah. Employee will be there about 10:30 a.m. for prep.
And, well, just Monday through Sunday, or Sunday through
Every
Saturday?
day.
Every day.
Same hours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Papantos. Any other questions or comments? If there are none, I would like a motion with the conditions as read.
So moved.
Commissioner Papantos, second.
I'll second.
Commissioner Lang, roll call, please.
Commissioner Raffato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes.
6C, consideration of a request for...
Thank you, sir. You're good to go.
Oops, sorry. 6C, consideration of a request for a Class A liquor license from Used Mandarin 3, Inc., doing business as Used Mandarin, a proposed restaurant at 600 South Milwaukee Avenue.
Mr. Swandolis.
Thank you. Again, as the title indicates, this is a Class A large restaurant liquor license for the new Used Mandarin, which will occupy the site of the former Golden Chef restaurant on Milwaukee Avenue. There will be table seating for more than 75 customers. And I would ask that any consideration, any motion be made with the following 5 conditions. First, the passage of an ordinance by the Board of Trustees authorizing the creation of a new Class A liquor license. Second, the submittal of an executed lease for the premises. Third, submittal of a certificate of insurance indicating liquor liability coverage. Fourth, Bassett certificates for all applicable individuals. And finally, the payment of all associated fees. The petitioner is here and can answer any specific questions. I can do the same.
Just under the bell. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Papantos?
Welcome to Wheeling. I live like within a block from you, so myself and my neighbors have been waiting anxiously, to tell you the truth. What's your time frame look like to really open?
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, we just got here.
You made it.
We're planning to have all the remodeling work done by next month. So if we're lucky to hire the right person and enough people, hopefully we can open in November sometimes. That's a close plan. If not, it can be delayed to, yeah, it's just depending how many people could we find.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Papantos. If there are no other questions,
Make a motion to approve
as conditioned?
with conditions.
Thank you, Commissioner Vogel. Second?
Second.
Commissioner Lang. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Raffato?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. That concludes the business for our Liquor Commission. Congratulations. Welcome to Wheeling.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the business of the Liquor Commission for the evening. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, sorry.
You're all set.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Wheeling for October 3rd, 2022. I'll get it right one of these days.
Hold on, let me just start this really quick.
Doesn't have to be heavy and serious all the time, does it?
All right. Are we ready to go?
I am. Clerk Brady, roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Papantos?
Present.
Trustee Vito?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Kruger is absent with prior notice. Trustee Raffato?
Here.
President Horker?
Here. You have before you the minutes of the joint workshop meeting of September 14th. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Vogel, roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Raffato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes this evening.
Clerk Brady, proclamations.
The Village of Wheeling Proclamation Manufacturing Month. Whereas innovative technologies, new wellsprings of manufacturing, entrepreneurship, and our county's increasing competitiveness are fueling and revitalizing Americans' manufacturing, and whereas Wheeling has one of the strongest manufacturing sectors of Illinois community, with over 14 million square feet of industrial space, which encompasses hundreds of businesses, and whereas Illinois manufacturers directly employ more than 662,000 men and women, which helps make Illinois the state with the 5th largest economy, and whereas the Wheeling community benefits from the efforts of the shared interest groups, like the Greater Wheeling Chamber of Commerce and Industry, as well as from innovative partnerships between manufacturers, educators, and other local stakeholders. And whereas the Illinois Manufacturers Association has declared October as Manufacturing Month as a way to help to introduce students to the wide array of occupations that make up the modern manufacturing and awaken the creative spirits in every student. Patrick Corker, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby proclaim October 2022 to be Manufacturing Month in the Village of Wheeling, and call upon the citizens of Wheeling to join in recognizing the critical contributions and manufacturings that make to the prosperity of our region or state or country.
Thank you, Clerk Brady.
Where are we? Oh, we have citizens.
John,
Thank you.
I was looking for the chamber. Never mind.
Oh, no, this is internal. As you know, the Village of Wheeling has long had a history of focusing on economic development in general, but specifically recognizing and appreciating our manufacturing sector. Wheeling has a very rich manufacturing sector, and part of our refocus on making sure that those folks have employees that are local. We have teamed with the high school over the past several years to create and foster programs that will help students enter the workforce, hopefully locally, with some foundation in manufacturing. We have commissioned a video that shows some of what Wheeling is doing specifically in the manufacturing sector. We have 2 additional videos that we will unveil in the coming months that deal with other aspects of the village and economic development within the village, but this is the first of those 3 that we are releasing, and this one was intended to be released with the proclamation of Manufacturing Month. So Luca, if you would be so kind. So obviously short and sweet. These videos will be e-blasted out tomorrow. They'll be available on our website. We will provide them to our local manufacturing network to make sure that they have this as a tool for whatever they can do to help reinforce their business, to solicit for additional employment, whatever they need to showcase their place in the Village of Wheeling and our commitment to them. So this is all part of a larger initiative. We thought it was pretty cool to be able to release that during the night of the proclamation for Manufacturing Month. So 2 more to come.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Svendelis. Trustee Lang, you had something?
Yeah, I've heard the radio ads on Wheeling too, and several on Saturday, and they're great. They're nicely produced and sounded great.
Thank you.
So you clearly heard Wheeling and knew it was Wheeling when it was on. So
Excellent. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Lang. Clerk Brady, citizen concerns and comments.
Yes, we have 2 today.
Okay.
Members of the public may address the board with comments regarding issues relevant to village business. No citizen shall speak for more than 5 minutes without consent of the board. Members of the general public who wish to address the board must sign the request to speak form prior to the commencement of the public meeting. Mr. Kumar is first.
Just as a reminder for the citizens, this is a time for citizens to express their comments and express concerns, and for the board to listen. Neither the board nor the staff will be answering questions. Good evening, Mr. Kumar, please.
Good evening, members of the board, village staff, fire department. Maybe I may need to go to one of these mental health things after this, but I'm here as a great concern for a property that I own in the village. It's called the Old Court Inn. As many of you might have known that we had a fire last year. But one thing that the construction of the building itself is solid, and the village is, especially the fire department and the village to pull the permits, is a lot of requirements and making me do a lot of stuff that I think it's overboard, especially, for example, installing a sprinkler system and getting a new water service 4 to 6 inch to the building, which I have to tear up Milwaukee Avenue basically to get that. As you know, this is a very small property. I have 4 separate buildings. The fire was in one of the buildings, not all of them. And in order to do this kind of project, I need village's help, basically, okay? It's impossible for me to tear up Milwaukee Avenue and get new water service that's required by the fire department. And/or I'm asking, basically, after your review, you can do that, is to get a waiver on the sprinkler system, if possible. We will certainly install all other code requirements that are needed, and like fire alarm system, energy, etc., whatever is needed, we will do that. But as I mentioned before, the building is solid. Every room to room is a concrete wall. There's no wood structure inside except the roof itself. And like I said, this was built very solidly in the 60s. So I want to preserve how it is, as is, rather than modifying the buildings and adding roof lines and et cetera to accommodate a sprinkler system. That's a concern I have. So if village be kind enough to help me out or do something, would be greatly appreciated. And just as I saw the video about manufacturing, a lot of employers are hiring, people don't have places to stay, that's affordable rather than the Westin. And we provide very affordable living accommodation for the blue collar working staff. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good, I only took 3 minutes.
Oh,
So thank you, and then hopefully I hear back from
community development?
Ross or someone.
Yeah, there you go.
I've spoken to Ross, thank you. One more thing to add, when we were pulling the permits, they had sent it out to BNF, I think it is, and they're treating the repair as if this is a new construction. It really is not a new construction. It's just a remodel, basically. So I think that is the reason why the way the codes are written, for example, for sprinkler systems specifically, is that if the property damage is more than 50%, then a sprinkler system is required. In this case, it is not more than 50% damage if you look at the real value of the property. But the way the code is written is the assessed value. So obviously, if the assessed value is written in such a way, yeah, every single property that's in the village, it's going to fall in that category that you have to put the sprinkler system in. Right? And as a small business owner, which I don't make any money since I've owned this property since 2013, and I think the police department can attest to this too, and maybe the fire department as well, I cleaned up the property, and basically there's no more riffraff going on in Wheeling, in that area, basically. So we don't accept clientele that we think that may be making trouble in the village. So we keep that troublemakers out of the area, basically. So I've done some good work, I think, in the village, but unfortunately I'm in a tough situation. So if the village will be kind enough to help me out in this situation, I think it will be beneficial for both of us to proceed further. That's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Clerk Brady.
Josh Philippi.
Hello, Wheeling Board. I'm Josh Philippi. I live at 33 Wheeling Avenue here in Wheeling. Been a resident here for 5 years. I know you guys are all thinking I'm going to talk about skunks tonight, and you're right. We have a problem. We still do. I've removed 2 more. I've gone to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and seeked out a permit making it legal for me to kill skunks humanely in my backyard. Not everyone can do that. I don't want to do that. There's a simple solution. We need to get something figured out. I know there's a budget coming up. I would like to see, hopefully again, something here. My other main issue is the garbage that's coming from Arbor Courts. There was just a court meeting today discussing the tickets from Arbor Court. It got dismissed saying they were incompliant. On my way here tonight, they are open. On my way to court, they were open. They know when the village is coming to look, and they close the garbage lids. If it's only being monitored from 10 to 5, then all night they can leave the garbage cans open where the raccoons and other animals can get to it, causing more problems in our neighborhood. I don't know what else I can do. I've tried reaching out to Adam. I talked to him after the court date today, and they said that they found them in compliance, even though if you go there right now, they're not. There's no one to watch them, or there's no way to file a code enforcement after hours. So if someone's breaking the law after hours, there's no after hours for cops. So why are properties allowing, or why are properties being allowed to break codes after hours if they can fix it by the morning? I don't know what else to do, but if we could see something where maybe we can get someone out here once in a while just to check up on it if there is a problem like I'm stating. Because just because it's after hours doesn't mean the code's not being broken. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Philippi. Clerk Brady, anything else?
No.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Staff reports. Chief Dunn, what have we got?
Good evening. Good evening, President Horker. While acknowledging that there are many worthwhile causes to support, the Wheeling Police and Fire Departments have decided to highlight and limit ourselves to 2 right now. We'll be wearing specially designed shoulder patches this month. During the month of October, they're displayed up there. During the month of October, the Wheeling Police and Fire Departments will be wearing pink shoulder patches to raise awareness of the importance of early detection in the fight against breast cancer. The breast cancer awareness shoulder patches that the police and fire are wearing acknowledge that it honors and acknowledges issues that our officers, firefighters, community members, and our family members who have suffered from cancer in the past and currently. These patches will be worn in place of our traditional shoulder patches. The second specialty patch the department members will be wearing is an autism awareness patch during the month of April. This is in recognition of the department's Return Home Safe program. The Return Home Safe program seeks to assist our special needs community by providing a tailored program designed to rapidly identify and safely return home these residents. A voluntary initiative, participants in the Return Home Safe program will be asked to complete an application which will allow immediate access to certain information which can help facilitate missing persons and a speedy and safe return of the participant. Currently, we have 40 residents who participate in the program. We began this program in August of 2021. There's been several successful police and fire interactions with this program. The Wheeling Police Unity Foundation will be also selling those pink patches to help raise funds for Northwest Community Hospital's Cancer Patients Assistance Fund. You can contact Officer Joshko at 847-459-2644. She'll tell you how to purchase the patches. We also have a website that our Police Unity Fund has, and that'll be on we'll put that on our website, how you can follow that. It's one word, Wheeling Police Unity Foundation .square.site. Wheeling Police Unity Foundation .square.site /. But we'll have that up there. It's a lot of information. But both the police and fire departments are very excited to help support these causes. And, you know, a lot of conversations and decision-making went into what to, because, you know, uniform's a uniform. It stands for something, and, you know, we can't every month be switching out patches. So this is our pilot program, and this is how we're going to approach it. So thank you for your support, and, you know, we'll do our part.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Well, not being funny, what was that email address again?
Yeah,
I tried to write it down, but it's kind of long.
Wheeling Police Unity Foundation
Okay, that was wrong.
.square.site / square being, because that's the only way they can do payments on the online. And actually, this organization, the Police Unity Foundation, has replaced the Wheeling Police Benevolent Fund.
Oh, okay.
This is the new group. Young officers taking over.
Thank you.
Chief Dunn?
Yes.
I thought I saw something on Facebook about taking pictures of officers with the patch. You see them?
I have not seen that.
People may be taking your picture.
That's good. That's good. We're all about social media and being present, and hopefully the officers are smiling when their pictures are being taken.
I'm sure they will.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Clerk Brady, consent agenda.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion at these items unless the board members or citizens so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution approving the renewal of and authorizing the village president and clerk to execute the First Amendment to the food service agreement with Hoffman House Catering for the Village of Wheeling Senior Service Congregate Dining Program. 11B, resolution accepting a proposal from Strand Associates, Inc. to provide professional services for the water main and sidewalk improvement project along Milwaukee Avenue in the amount not to exceed $198,750. 11C, ordinance amending Title 4, Taxes, Business, Regulation, and License, Chapter 4.66, raffle licenses with regards to raffles. 11.D, resolution waiving the fidelity bond requirement for the Mabus Foundation to conduct a raffle for 1 year from October 4th, 2022 through October 3rd, 2023. 11E, ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcoholic liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32.085, to increase the authorized number of Class A and N liquor license. That's it.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Are there any questions, comments? If there are no questions or concerns by the board, I would like a motion to approve the consent agenda as read.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang, roll call, please.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Brings us to the new business.
13A, presentation regarding 708 Community Mental Health Board.
Mr. Svandulis, you want to introduce this?
Thank you. Yes, the village was approached by representatives of the Community Mental Health Board with a request to come before you and the public to provide some information on the 708 referendum question. And they will be making a presentation to you, a slide presentation. And before we introduce them, Attorney Frollo had just a quick.
Certainly, thank you, Manager Svandulis. As a reminder, the presenters regarding this item should refrain from telling the audience how to vote at the referendum. This presentation should remain informational only.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. President Horker, Village Manager Svandulis, members of the board. You know, Chief, your comments about the patch for autistic individuals speaks volumes about the interest and sensitivity in the village of Wheeling on issues that relate to mental health. And we know you are doing a great job. We know that you're working hard. But we also know that despite all the best efforts of the village of Wheeling, there are still great gaps in the system of mental health, disabilities, and for those who have substance abuse issues. Just to step back for a second, you know that I have been involved in education in our area for 29 years. Fellow board member Stacy Allen in the back knows how hard we work for education. But my history goes back to the days when I worked for Dick Ogilvy, one of our governors who did not go to jail, as his special ed statewide coordinator. And in that capacity, I traveled the state, worked with parent groups, and one of the first things I was asked to do was to visit Lincoln and Dixon. Anybody remember the names Lincoln and Dixon from 50 years ago? Joe, I'm sure you do. It's the names of the famous warehouses for the mentally ill that we had in Illinois and that existed across the country. And when I toured those for the governor, I was astounded to see individuals sitting on ceramic floor, cold floors, rocking most of the day with no programming. It was a sad day for mental health and a sad day for Illinois. The worst part of it is, many years later, we're not much better off than we were then. The plan at that time was to build community mental health centers, supportive care facilities, actually like the ones that our group are supporting and helping to build throughout our area, but that's another topic. Programs and facilities to support those who could live independently if they had the support of our communities. So we've not done a lot better. The good news is tonight we can improve services for mental health, disabilities, and for those who have substance abuse in our Wheeling Township. And I'm going to introduce two key players, really the driving forces of this project. Hugh Brady was one of our District 21 teachers, an outstanding teacher. He taught my daughter, and he taught the Constitution. And to this day, she remembers the lessons and some of the concepts they talked about that she would bring home to me because I was always interested in con law. And Lori Gernawi, a parent, an activist, a former businesswoman. And with that, I'm going to turn over the discussion to them, and they're going to walk you through the deck. Thank you so much for your time and interest and having us here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having all of us. Let me see if I can get this to the right height. I really appreciate your time tonight. We're here to talk to you about community mental health boards, to explain what they are, why we need one, and what they can do for our community. Now let's see if I can get this to click forward. Whoops, that didn't work. How do I click forward? Sorry.
You should be able to just hit the space bar, or you can scroll up to next. There you go.
Okay. this our next slide? I can't even remember. Okay, so what is a community mental health board and what does it do? Basically, what it's going to do is to evaluate what the needs are in our community and create a plan. First, they're required, if one is approved, to develop, to do a survey to determine specifically what the needs are in Wheeling Township. The community mental health boards help those with mental health issues, intellectual and developmental disabilities, and substance use issues. So in other areas, what they're looking for specifically is to reduce the long waiting lists and eliminate gaps in services. One of the really unique things about it, and one of the things that we like about it best, is that the money that's generated is only for Wheeling Township residents. It's not going to the county, it's not going to the state, it's just going to Wheeling Township residents. Okay. So the Community Mental Health Board is created by referendum, which is why it's on the ballot. We collected almost 2,500 signatures to get it on the ballot. It's an entirely volunteer board. All the board members, the volunteer board, would be appointed by the Wheeling Township supervisor. These boards, there's about 90 of them in Illinois. They can be created by almost any unit of government. There's about 9 in Cook County. 4 of them are actually in the city of Chicago, and I'm not really quite sure what unit of government it is that they're created under, but we're looking to do this for the township, for Wheeling Township. There's also a referendum on the ballot in Vernon Township and Schaumburg Township. They're all governed underneath the Illinois Community Mental Health Act. I should have put the number up there because I've had a few questions about that, but I can give that to anybody that you would like to have some more information. The Mental Health Board isn't providing any services. What it's doing is determining what the needs are in the community, and then they develop a plan of action, which they're required to do annually, and then they give grants to mostly existing agencies. It could be to a police department, to a school, it could be to a mental health service provider. There's any number of organizations that can receive them funding.
I would just add one thing, that of the 7 to 9 members that would be on the board, one of them has to be a member of the township board also.
I'm really struggling with this tonight. Okay, here we go. So what's the need? That's the big thing. We've spoken to a number of different agencies and have their support. We have their names on one of our handouts as advocating for this. One of them is the Alexian Brothers Center for Mental Health. They were able to give us some statistics that mental health calls were up over 22% from the previous year. And also the local police departments, I'm sure the Wheeling chief here would agree with this, answer a lot of mental health and substance use crisis calls. In 1 year, from a little over a year, from June 2019 to September 2020, they answered almost 1,000 calls, and more than 1/4 of those were related to suicide. Particularly with our youth, there's been a lot of talk about mental health, and for good reason as you look at all this data. There's a very strong connection between mental health issues and substance use issues. You know, we hear that from social workers, mental health workers, police officers, and the data supports that as well. And COVID, of course, has only made all of this worse. This is a slide from NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. Amongst the other things that I do spend a lot of volunteer time with NAMI. I like to think about it as unpaid work. It sounds a little bit more professional than volunteer work. My youngest son was diagnosed with schizophrenia and I joined NAMI at that time. That was in 2012. I retired early so I could work on causes like this and other projects with NAMI. So one of the things that I think this slide really demonstrates is, first of all, mental health, mental illness is truly non-discriminatory. It affects people of all ages, all races. It really doesn't care who you are, how much money you make, it doesn't matter. And the other really sad statistic is how many people with mental health issues that don't get treatment. Some of that is related to stigma, a big part of it. But it's also right now the fact that it's really difficult to get help. There are long wait lists. If you have a child looking to see a therapist, you're probably looking at a 6 to 9 month wait. It doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. There's just not enough people. One of the other groups that the Community Mental Health Board can help are those with developmental and intellectual disabilities. There's a list out there, it's called the PUNS list. I can never quite get it right, a prioritization of underutilization, something or another. It's a list that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities are put on. It's basically a wait list. So once they graduate from high school, and we have really great services here while you're in high school, then you're put on this wait list to get services. A very good friend of mine, their daughter has a developmental disability, and it took her 8 years to get off that list to get services from Clearbrook. And the big problem with that is that in the meantime, she's at home after she's out of high school now, and she's watching television. She doesn't have any structure in her life. I mean, they were really distraught trying to get her help. Illinois is ranked, depending on which list you look for which year, anywhere from 42nd to 47th for their help with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, which is one of the reasons I also feel very strongly about doing this on the community-wide basis. While there's a lot of stigma around mental health, there's even more around substance use. In 2020, just in Wheeling Township, over 60 residents died from opiate overdose, and another 184 were treated for emergency room visits, hospitalizations. And as much as we hear about opiates and substance use disorders, there's even more harm and more damage being done from alcohol. Alcohol is also a substance. I like to have a glass of wine, but anything when overdone can do harm. And there's far more harm done from alcohol use.
And I would just add that make the problem even worse is that fentanyl is showing up on all the street drugs. And I found out at one of our forums that 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a lethal dose. So it doesn't take much, and it's, so we're saying, well, if we don't do anything, we're going to see more and more folks dying.
Right. We reached an all-time high of overdose deaths in America from April 2020 to April 2021 of over 100,000 individuals. And as Hugh said at that forum, we heard from folks there, they said, this is one of the facts that shocked me, they said that they do this free testing to try to keep drugs safe, which seems like an oxymoron, but they're testing these illegal drugs so people know what's in them before they take them. And they said fentanyl was in everything, absolutely everything, which is really a scary thought. There's a huge cost to doing nothing. You can read through the numbers here, but there's a lot of cost that we pay every single day for mental health and substance use. Not to mention developmental and intellectual disabilities. People can be more productive. But if you want to just look at money we're already spending, Cook County Jail is the single largest mental health provider in the state. I've heard it's the single largest in the country. I don't have that data to prove that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I know that the cost of jail far outweighs the cost of treatment. And we're paying for that, being in Cook County, whether we like it or not. We've talked to lots and lots of people as we were going around getting our signatures, and we're trying to get the word out that this referendum is on the ballot. Every single time that I'm out there talking with people, somebody tells me a story, a personal story of somebody that they know, whether it's their child, their son, their daughter, their friend's child, their friend of a friend, a neighbor. Everybody knows somebody, it seems, that's affected by one of these three things. So this is the process. I think we've covered a lot of it. If the referendum is passed, then the township supervisor appoints the board members. They do this survey to determine needs. They come up with a plan and a budget annually. And then they review grants that are, people submit for grants, agencies submit for grants, and then those funds would be distributed. Obviously not going to happen overnight, but that's the process. Number one question is always, how much is it going to cost? And the bottom line is, we all get to choose. We get to have input. We can all go to the township board meetings and say what's important to us, how much we want that tax to be levied. It can't be more than 0.15%. Our goal as a group that's been advocating for this is to raise $1.5 million. That, on the average in Cook County, of those 9 community mental health boards, they raise an average of 1.6. So we thought 1.5 would be a good number to shoot for. To do that for the average price home in Wheeling Township, it's $28.36 annually. And I have to admit, I am not an accountant. I have an engineering background, but I don't like accounting. It could actually be a little less because the taxes for businesses are higher, but it's a close approximation. In engineering, you get to use approximations. .708 boards work. This is why our group decided to try this. Through NAMI, we heard about these 708 boards. One of the big things, because a lot of us are on our local NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, one of the big things that we've heard about that other communities have is the living room program. It's a type of mental health crisis center. And the really good ones are open 24/7. They're available anytime. So when those police officers are called for a mental health crisis call, they can take people there. They don't have to fill out any paperwork. They can just drop off these people. And it's fairly simple. They're staffed. They have what they call peer specialists, so someone else that's living with a mental health issue and can relate to what that person is going through. In other areas, they've also provided grants for intellectual and developmental disability day services and respite care for families, particularly during the pandemic. But they've done a lot of really great things in other communities. We're happy to send you to other websites. All of this information is public to show you what they've done in other areas. And the one thing I keep forgetting to put up here is our website. Our website is almost the same as our Instagram account, advocatefor708.org. One of the things that we have on our website right now are events. We have 2 events coming up that we would love for the public to come and learn more if you've got any more questions. So we have an event this Wednesday that's going to address mental health concerns, and so that would be October 5th. And then on Tuesday, October 11th, we have one addressing intellectual and developmental disabilities.
And those are both at the Arlington Heights Public Library at 7 p.m.
And they're available via Zoom, so that's all on the website. No registration is required, except if you want to do it by Zoom, then they need to be able to send you an email so you can connect. We really appreciate your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from the board? Just smiles and nods, smiles and nods. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Clerk Brady,
13B, public hearing regarding request for Cook County Class 6B property tax abatement for the property at 450 Chaddick Drive. Applicant is PWHZ Inc.
all right. We only have the public hearing on the agenda for the evening. So, an application for a 6B real estate property tax abatement classification on behalf of PWHZ Inc. for the property at 450 Chaddick Drive was submitted and subsequently withdrawn by the petitioner. Because the public hearing notice for this matter had already been published, the public hearing will still be opened. At this time, there is not a new hearing scheduled, but if or when there is new notice, if and when there is, a new notice will be published. Does anyone from the public care to comment? I'm obligated. If there are no comments,
Motion to close.
I have a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Papantos, second trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel? Did I say that twice?
Yes.
Yes,
Sorry.
please. Can I vote,
Trustee
please?
Lang?
Yes.
Sorry. Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Official communications. Left and right. This is manufacturing. What month?
Manufacturing month.
The years ago, I forget how many now, I guess I've been doing this a long time. The high school began their STEM program, and now it's the STEAM program, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and then they added art. I was very happy when they added art. But this is an amazing program that the high school coordinated with the Chamber of Commerce, and it's, in my mind, this is something like an apprenticeship where, believe it or not, everybody is not cut out for college. Some of us are going to work right after high school. But this program allows high school students actual hands-on in-shop training in manufacturing, in factories right here in the village. It's right there, you can come and get it. It's a wonderful program because these kids, instead of incurring a lifetime worth of education debt, they can learn an actual trade and go and earn actual money after high school. And it's amazing what the District 214 and the Chamber of Commerce are doing. And they've been doing it for well over a decade. It's just a great program, and I just wanted to make everybody aware that Wheeling's kind of ahead of the curve on a lot of these things. So, if there's
Patrick?
no... Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand earlier. Just a thank you to all the community members that came out for the community breakfast. It was a good turnout. We collected about 600, I thought it was less, but turned out that they counted it at the food pantry. It was over 600 items of non-perishable food items for the food pantry, and money, which Wheeling Helping Hands is also donating to the food pantry. A special thank you to Chief Dunn for bringing the comfort dog out and all of his staff that was there. There was a great turnout of police and fire department members that interacted with the community, and it was great to see them all there. And I do know a lot of them came out on their own time, so we really appreciate that if you'll relay that to them, both fire and police. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Vogel. Also, thank you to the trustees who attended the ribbon cutting a day or two ago. Heartland Animal Shelter moved here from Northbrook. I thought that was very nice. Trustee Vito, you were there. Trustee Rufato, Trustee Lang, I saw you. Trustee Kruger was there. There were several Planning Commission members, Commissioner Johnson, Commissioner Sprague. If I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sure they'll tell me. Sorry. Probably shouldn't introduce one if I can't introduce them all, right? In any case, that's all I have. So if there's no one else, we have before us The bills from September 15th till September 28th, and I need a motion for them to be approved.
So moved.
Trustee Papantos, second.
Second.
Trustee Rufato, roll call, please.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Vito,
Yes.
Trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
Trustee Rufato,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, we have no executive session tonight. That means I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second.
Second.
Trustee Lang, or we can stay here all night. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for sharing your time with us.